Hello everyone, this is the Dread Pirate once again. This is going to be a short little video, I wanted to get back in and do some commentary on Star Wars and some of the recent developments that have gone on. I've been watching a little bit of, I'm a little behind on things I normally check out, but I saw a couple updates from Geeks and Gamers and some of the other guys I watched, so I just wanted to kind of philosophize on it for a bit. So I've always believed in no matter, especially when things are not going well in life for anything, whether it's something like this where it's a consumer revolt and we're not happy with a show, with the way a show is going, or if it's something serious, something like like life-threatening, or your life isn't going the way it should, you're in some kind of economic trouble, whatever it is. I feel like having a positive attitude and a positive action will always help the situation. If you're religious, that may involve prayer too. I don't want to get preachy right now, but I mean, my personal experience, it does help. And I feel like that was the right way to respond to direction Star Wars was going in, was basically say, hey, we weren't happy, and to kind of do something about it, spread the word, and have a little consumer revolt, which we've done. And I feel like, so basically the big news that's come out lately is, if you've been following Geeks and Gamers, and if you're listening to the Star Wars video, you probably are, that it's been found out that basically Bob Iger is not happy with Kathleen Kennedy and wants her gone, and she's not been seen in a while, and basically it's word on the street is she's basically already been fired. They just haven't officially fired her yet. And with that, with her gone, eventually it'll lead to Rian Johnson's trilogy being canceled. All the Star Wars spin-offs have been put on hold for the time being. It's essentially, this is tremendous news. It's like our voices were heard. We said, hey, we're not happy with the direction Star Wars is going in. We did something about it, and basically we've done it, man. We've beaten Kathleen Kennedy. We've beaten Kathleen Kennedy and her corrupt version of Lucasfilm, and things are getting better. So I think we should all be proud of ourselves that we did it. Anybody who thought that I remember when Jeremy started out voicing his opinion on this. Basically, he was talking about how Kathleen Kennedy's really powerful. I don't think she can go, even though she should. And it's like, man, she's out. He already, a lot of his sources basically say, yes, she basically is already out. But they're kind of very careful how they put that information out. And so I think we should all be proud, and we've all done a good job here, and that's what matters here. But also, essentially, basically don't get cocky. The fight's not over yet. We got to still see where they take it. Something unexpected can prop up in the middle. So it's something to it's basically we got to keep on watching the situation. I'm not going to celebrate until we have absolute confirmation that she's gone, which, as he pointed out, is probably going to happen in September. But we, it needs to be official. We need to know that the mean lady who's hurt our Star Wars is not coming back, and so that's what we need to do. A couple other things I wanted to talk about. I'm actually because I'm kind of cautiously optimistic and a little nervous about a couple other things. For starters, I'm really to Ethan Van Sciver, man who I couldn't pronounce his channel's name when we began all this. I'm really excited about him bringing back Cyberfrog. I remember Cyberfrog back in the good old days, the 90s. When I was reading comics, it was like that weird, cool little book where there's this badass frickin' Cyberfrog on it, and I had no idea when I started watching this stuff. It's like, that's the dude who created Cyberfrog, man. And he's been one of the best voices about all this, and I think things are going really good. I definitely want to get his new run on Cyberfrog when we're talking about the whole Wasp, the alien Wasp invasion. I think that's pretty cool. I just want to kind of give shout out to that. Shout out to Ethan Van Sciver about Cyberfrog. I'm down for that, and I definitely agree with some things that he said. Basically, say what you will about the 90s, say what you will about things that Youngblood, I mean, the past 10 years, well, not past 10 years, but it was like when he started his show, and when when Channel Awesome got started. It's like I was watching Linkara, and after all the bitching and moaning about cheesecake in comics and how the 90s were so bad, that era that I actually grew up in comics. Yeah, there was some bad stuff in the 90s. There was some dumb stuff in the 90s. There was things like the Clone Wars, which were not the Clone Wars, the Clone Saga with Spider-Man, things that were kind of like famous bad comics. Yeah, there was some bad stuff, but you know what? That stuff wasn't that bad, and that stuff was light years better than we are at now. It's like I definitely agree. Comics were fun back then. And speaking of positivity and keeping the fight going, it's like comics. Every industry that's got some kind of crazy bullshit SJW invasion, it's like it needs our help. It needs our positivity. It needs us to keep on waging. It's like, no, we don't approve of this. We don't approve of these crazy people coming into our entertainment medium and telling us that we're horrible people for liking what we like. Our comic books need these people gone. The entertainment industry needs these people gone. We got to remind these people, like, hey, look, we are not bad people just because we don't agree with their crazy far left neoliberal agenda. We got to let real people know these people are not normal. This is not okay, and we don't approve of this stuff. And we need to push these people out too. Again, my feeling on Marvel, the comic industry, is that it's going to get better eventually, but it's going to get worse before it's get better. We need to keep on. In the case of Marvel, don't buy their books. Don't buy their books right now. Don't buy their books until they actually get these idiots like Ta-Nehisi Coates and C.B. Cebulski and all these other idiots out. Don't let DC Comics know you're not happy with Zoe Quinn being a part of it. So it's like don't give up. Don't give up. We got to keep at this. Anytime they're they're going to be like trying to push like SJW politics in any entertainment media, we got to say no. We don't approve of this. We don't want these people here, and we don't agree with their way of thinking. And they can call us intolerant all the way all we want. We know we're not intolerant. We know we're accepting, and we just don't care for their forced diversity bullshit. We got to keep that. We got to keep working that. I'm also kind of cautiously optimistic about the deal, the big Disney Fox deal, and I'm cautiously optimistic about the MCU. I loved Infinity War. I'm really excited for Infinity War Part 2. I'm really excited for pretty much everything Marvel's coming out with this year. One thing I'm a little nervous about is Captain Marvel. Whereas, and again, I kind of had the feeling when they teased she would be showing up at the end of Infinity War, it was like, oh no. It's like, first of all, I can't wait, and it's going to happen. I can't wait for her to become Miss Marvel again. I can't wait for her to actually become the actual... I can't wait for Carol Danvers in the comics to become the actual likable character she used to be before it was decided that, that version of her is sexist because she wears a one-piece bathing suit as her superhero outfit and knee-high boots, and that's sexist apparently because she looks good, because she looks sexy, and we had to turn her into this horrible... kind of bull-dyke, miserable, man-hating monster. I can't wait for her to revert back to normal, and she will. I can't wait for Iceman and characters like Iceman and Ken to revert back to being straight. I mean, again, it's like... and again, there's nothing wrong with gay characters in comics, but there's something wrong with taking a character that's established one way and making them something they're not. I mean, a lot of the stuff that... I've always you want to basically take any type of situation where you've got an established gay character or like an established black character or an established female character, and and you want to know why it's a bad idea to make like a straight white character like black, or to make a straight character gay. You want to know why that's bad? Basically, take any homosexual character, any gay character, any black character, or any female character, and then do the same thing with them. Take a gay character, a character that was originally gay that's supposed to be gay, make them straight. See how people like that. Take a black character or a female character, make the black character white, make the female character a dude. See what happens. For example, let's say you took Wonder Woman, the greatest female superhero of all time, the most beloved, living symbol of female power, and do a storyline where she becomes a guy. and do that thing that happens in comics, like we're seeing with stuff like this. I remember when Wolverine lost his adamantium, and it was an interesting story at first, and then he never got the adamantium back, and then he looked like this horrible monster with no nose, and he had these brittle bone claws, and it was like, can we make Wolverine cool again and make him like have his adamantium claws? Like, remember that storyline lasted for fucking ever, and it's like, when is it going to revert? I mean, there's like a lot of times when changes happen in comics, it takes them forever to turn back to normal, and it's infuriating. That Wolverine was one. When Superman became Superman Red and Blue, that was another one. The Spider-Man clone saga in general was one. And now a lot of this SJW nonsense, or like where Iceman is super gay and Miss Marvel is a miserable person, that's another one. It's another one where it's like, okay, when are we going to get our good comics back? When are we going to get rid of Nazi Captain America? Yeah, imagine someone at DC decided, hey, let's make Wonder Woman a guy, and let's keep her a guy for a long stretch of time, and not revert her back, because we think our story is a good idea. See how well that goes. See all the people rioting in the streets about it. See all the women pissed, all the feminists pissed. Yeah, you will piss people off. Let's try another example. Let's take any classic, awesome black character and make them white. Take Luke Cage, Marvel's Shaft. Take Black Panther, probably the greatest, and most famous and beloved, especially now, black superhero of all time. Take Blade. Take Static Shock. Take Black Lightning. Any established, beloved, awesome black superhero, make them white. Make them white. See how well people like that. See how well people like a black Luke Cage, like a white Luke Cage. People will riot in the streets. People will be pissed off. People will wonder, why are you doing this? Why are you ruining the character? And that's the point. If all this talk about what's wrong? What's wrong with making this character gay? Are you intolerant of gay people? What's wrong with the black version of this character? It's like, well, again, spin it on its head. Spin it on its head. Do the reverse of that. Does it sound stupid? Then it probably is. And again, this is the problem with making like Doctor Who a woman too. Same stuff. Well, the real problem is like, yeah, he wouldn't want to be. He wouldn't. That again, it doesn't make sense. That's what it boils down to. And the same thing for like taking a gay character, making them straight. It's like, yeah, it's just you're kind of, if they're supposed to be gay, it's not okay. And again, I feel like one of the best examples I can remember of a character coming out of the closet, and like where it felt right, and it felt like this is how you do it, and I really liked it, was in Buffy the Vampire Slayer when Willow became gay. To me, that was like one of the best examples of how you do it. It's like, because you told a story, you took the time, and that was my problem. It's my problem with a lot of this. It's like, you got to tell the story. You got to tell a story about this person discovering themselves. And in the case of Willow, it was that. There was a process. In the case of Willow, it's like she became gay, or I always felt like maybe Willow was the end result was, it was revealed she was bisexual, but it was like, I think like the way she's basically established by the end of the show, it's like she's gay. Part of I think sexuality is how you identify, and she feels like no, she's into women now. But there was a period when she started up, she was into men. She had a crush on she was best friends with Xander, and she had always had a crush on him, and it kind of blossomed in season 2, I believe, where they finally kind of started getting the hots for each other and started kind of making out behind Oz and Cordelia's back. That was either season 2 or season 3. I think it was actually it started a little bit in season 2, and then it kind of started getting full blown in season 3, I believe. She kind of had a crush on Giles initially as this attractive, smart older man. There was that. There was several other male characters she was into or attracted to or was kind of seduced by. Off the top of my head, she had that internet romance with Moloch the Corruptor, and then of course there's Oz. It's like the greatest love of her life was the Seth Green is the werewolf guitar player. It's like she really loved Oz. And then it's when Oz broke up with her. It's when everything fell apart for their relationship in season 4 when he due to the other werewolf known as Veruca, who kind of seduced Oz and kind of made the wolf come out of him. That's when her kind of world started falling apart. Oz left her because he realized he needed to get the wolf under control, and he would hurt her if he stayed around her. And then, she basically was lost and didn't know what to do. And you kind of watch her basically trying to find, try to fill that loneliness. And it's like, she runs into Perry again, but then she hears Perry just making fun of her because, to his real girlfriend. And, there's Buffy's dealing with that. I think that one, I think Parker, that one asshole that slept with her and ditched her. And then she started bonding with this one woman, Tara McClay, played by Amber Benson, at the Wicca meetings. It was the one person that seemed like she was talking about real magic, and it started as a friendship, and it kind of blossomed. And before you know it, it's like, holy shit, I'm in love with a woman. And that to me is like, that's how you do it. You don't just have Jean Grey show up and it's like Iceman, you're gay. You've always been gay. It's like, yeah, okay. How about all those other those relationships with females he's had throughout the entire freaking run of his character? It's just like, oh, you were just none of that really mattered to you. Well, at the time it did. At the time, his relationship to Kitty Pryde mattered. At the time, his relationship with Polaris mattered. It was just all of a sudden, we're gonna undo whatever was written before. And not only we're going to make him gay, we're going to make him ridiculously gay, like flamboyantly, insultingly gay. Again, pointing to Buffy the Vampire Slayer is a good place to take a look at it. And it's like, Joss Whedon. Joss Whedon knows how to write. Joss Whedon knows how to write a character correctly. He knows how to write this kind of stuff correctly. And it's like, he is a feminist. He's thought a lot about these issues. He cares about these issues. He's a very progressive, nice man who's been completely thrown under the bus by feminists, the feminists he trusts so much in recent years, who've brought up everything he did that is not 100% in keeping with their agenda, acting like he's a terrible person. If he were to ever hear this, I would extend the invitation and say, hey, Joss, look, I don't have a problem you being a feminist, man, but you might want to just be in line with the first and second wave, and this third wave acknowledge that they're a bunch of crazy people and they're not worth your time because they don't have your back. I'm rambling now. I'm rambling on for 17 minutes. What's my point? Is like I'm cautiously, we got to keep up the fight and basically kind of get these crazy activists out of our media. But basically, back to the MCU. Word on the street is that Miss Marvel might actually be. The Miss Marvel movie, the Captain Marvel movie might actually be everything I fear it to be. It might actually be SJW Captain Marvel, and the actress playing her is going to be all man-hating and awful. And then once Infinity War's done, she's going to be the focus of the MCU going forward. And a lot of people, like Yellow Flash, is nervous about this. He's kind of worried about that. And I gotta admit, I'm kind of nervous too because, Kevin Feige's been doing a good job. The Marvel movies have been doing really, really well. They know how to do it right. They know how to do these stories with great characters, with an ensemble cast of, all walks of humanity, men, women, of all races, creeds, sexualities, and whatnot. And kicking butt without feeling like they're just trying to fill a quota like Star Wars is doing. So I want them to keep doing well, and I don't want them to cross that line. Don't follow. Keep being the Marvel that we like as opposed to the Marvel we don't like. I want them to. And it's interesting. Like the other things I've heard is they're not putting out the trailers for it. And hopefully, if there is an issue, maybe they see it ahead of time and they play it smart. And they might, there's still time to course correct before they make a big mistake. And hopefully they won't make a big mistake. I'm also cautiously optimistic about this big sale that's occurred, which the U.S. had to approve of for concern of monopolies. That, again, Disney has gotten all of Fox's stuff. Again, I'm as long as they do good stuff with this, I'm happy about it. We're finally going to get the X-Men back. I want the X-Men back in the MCU. I want the X-Men written by Kevin Feige. I want to see the X-Men incorporated in these movies we've seen so far. I want to see that. If I had my way, we could still even keep all the movies we've done with 20th Century Fox and just say, yeah, that happened in the same universe. They just never interacted for some reason. Probably not going to get that, but whatever. I want to see the X-Men in this world. I want to see the Fantastic Four. I want to see Deadpool in this world. I would love to see Disney or Buena Vista or whoever they have directing it make other movies with the licensed properties they're getting. I would like to see Aliens movies that have nothing to do with the stupid shit Ridley Scott was doing in Prometheus and Alien Covenant. I would like to see Terminator films. I would like to see whatever they got, man. They could make a fucking Dodgeball 2 and I'm there. I like whatever. They've got a ton of properties. They can do a lot of cool stuff with this as long as they do it and they don't do anything stupid with it. I think the biggest disappointment out of all this, out of all of Disney buying the rights to everything we love and cherish, is the fact that they kind of shot themselves in the foot with Star Wars. It's like Star Wars didn't have to go down like this. Star Wars could have been fine. They could have just taken George's works and they could have taken the expanded universe and all that's in there and just said, okay, we're just going to keep things going. And they could have done The Force Awakens and Rogue One, and all they had to do was say all the stuff that you've read before and you enjoy it, yeah, it's still canon. We may not reference it, but it's still canon. They could have just been lazy about it. That's fine. But instead, they decided to take all the stuff that we like and say it doesn't count anymore. All those books and role-playing games and stuff you bought previously is no longer canon because they were lazy about it. They just wanted our money and our support without actually earning it. And again, for my money, Force Awakens and Rogue One were good for what they were, regardless of the fact that they don't kind of make sense with the canon, with the expanded universe, which I consider canon. Of course I consider it canon. Of course, that is Star Wars. Expanded universe is the real canon. I refuse to call it Legends. But it was by the time Last Jedi rolled around, it's apparent that they don't really give a shit. And it didn't have to be like this. It didn't have to be. I mean, in a way, I'm almost glad it happened because it got people like me. It's made Jeremy a Geeks and Gamers career. It got inspired me to actually come out and bitch about this on the internet and actually to be creative and to put my voice out there. But it's like I want to be happy about Star Wars. I want to be happy about what's coming out. I want to come out here and talk to you like, hey man, I'm excited. I'm excited about what's coming out with Star Wars, and they're not there yet. They need it. If they've got the rights to it, I want them to fix it. I want them to fix it. I want them to get back on track. So, point of this video, which was supposed to be just like 10 minutes long, and is rolling out to about like 20, 25, is I think we're doing well. We're doing well. We've been staying positive, and we've been, and we've been. In terms of Star Wars, we got a victory here. Things are getting better, but now is not a time to now is not a time to get complacent. We got to stay positive and we got to stay active. We can't let them, because if we back off and stop caring, they'll keep doing shit. They'll keep doing garbage, and so it's not just for Star Wars, man. It's for every entertainment medium. We got to get on them. We got to be conscientious. And it's like, and as for social justice, I mean, it's like that. I guess this applies to everything. It's just basically in your everyday life, be vigilant. Don't, you see an abuse happening, or you see people treating each other wrong. Yeah, do something about it. Don't do this social warrior bullshit where you just bitch about it, but you don't actually, or you bitch about the wrong things. Actually, put a stop to real injustices. Actually, help your fellow man. Help your fellow man out. That's what you got to do. So anyway, once again, to quote, I live in hyperspace. If you can hear this, you are the resistance. You are the rebellion. So keep vigilant out there, Star Warriors. Things are getting better, but there's still miles to go before we all sleep. This is the Dread Pirate, sailing off once again.